Ladies and gentlemen, I can't actually believe I'm saying this, but we are back. Helldivers actually has something new to offer, and by that I mean we have a whole new game mode. As you see here, 46 days ago was the very last time I was actually on this, which is kind of crazy to say because, well, not much has really happened with the game, and not many people are really playing it, and we all have real life to tend to. But either way, before we can actually get into this level 10, we actually have to do 3 full level 9 missions. Son of a bitch. God damn it. Whew. Mission number 1, baby. Let's go. Number 2. I swear to God, this fuck really... No! Come on, come on, come on. We almost have this. Let's go. Come on, A1, baby. Let's go. Son of a bitch. Alright, I think we have actually found a squad we can stay with just to get these knocked out. Because Jesus Christ. Whew, number 2. One more. Oh, okay. Finally, we have unlocked level 10 Super Helldive. Oh my gosh. Alright, now, let's go ahead and finally get into this video. Jesus. So right now we're just going to go just plain Jane. We're just going to be using a purifier with some gas as well as an eagle airstrike and the flames. What do you call that? Napalm airstrike. And then might even throw in the guard dog rover. This is my usual go-to whenever I do a solo Helldive. Whenever I would do solo Helldive, but now we're super Helldive, kind of odd to say that. But yes, this is my usually go-to, and so what we're going to try to do around this is basically run around the edges of the map. The reason I'm trying the eradicate first is because this has a shit ton of them all compiled in one single area, so I just want to see if there's any crazy noticeable difference in all of these. So I know Helldive pretty much has a shit ton, but now when you have super Helldive, I really want to know just how more intense it is. If anything to me off of this, I guess that kind of really just irks me, and not in a bad way, but I can not really say it in a good way, is those guys that just, you know, sink their claws into the ground, the impaler, and those things just slap you from just distances and ragdoll you all the way across the map. So you basically don't really have time to get up and do anything because you're stuck in ragdoll mode. That's my only thing that makes it really difficult as far as bosses go, or even just the bugs. I've yet to try the bots, but with the bugs right on this, I mean, oof, this is rough. But it is kind of cool to have a challenging mode and just some additional content on this game. But right now, we're just going to try to run right around the sides. Let's see. I can throw in another... Trying to just time all of them so that way I can catch them all on the side. Kind of like, you know, when you put them all in the whirlpool, if you've seen my other videos on doing eradicate. But because essentially the main goal is on this is to just loop them all in a circle, and eventually you'll have them all get stuck in the side or even just in the center. And that's where you can just either spam all of your, not real kill streaks, but all of your stratagems, and it pretty much makes it really easy to really wipe them out. I mean, I haven't really used gas too seriously until probably, I guess, the last, I'd say the end of the war bond that was the Polar Patriots, I believe that's what it's called. I didn't really take gas too serious until probably that end of that war bond, because, I mean, a lot of the other stratagems were fine, but the 500 kg used to be the OG one, but it's kind of like a little bit weak. Like, takes several of them just to kill some things, and a lot of it's just a swing or miss. But the same thing goes, like, I've never really used a purifier at all, but the reason I'm using it now is because out of all of the weapons, at least using them the past several games to unlock level 10, I find this one to do just the most damage if you're just wanting to do them all like kind of like up close and just really short and sweet. Because I would, you know, use the sickle, but that kind of has like a delay about, I'd say, 1.5 to 2 seconds when it comes to firing. When you have a bunch of bugs around you, that's not really feasible. Or even if you look at the blitzer, like that damn thing, like, it's great, don't get me wrong. But whenever you're just trying to run around with it and you're just trying to fire off, you know, at some warriors or even some stalkers, it takes a minute for it to shoot, and it doesn't, not only just that, but it can be a swing or miss. Like if I'm shooting something directly in front of me, sometimes it just really doesn't register and you're just shooting a blank. Meanwhile, when you're shooting your blank, they do kind of knock you out. But that's why, again, that's why I'm using the purifier on this, and this might kind of be my go-to if I am playing Super Helldive, or even just a lot of matches in general, because it is kind of nice as far as the TTK goes. But let's run around to this side. As you can see, we're just really pacing it all around the sides. I mean, we could get aggressive, but knowing that there's going to be a lot more bugs spawn on this, we're just using a little bit more strategy. Now, obviously, there are other things they have added in this, which will be a separate video when it comes to picking up the larva. Because I know one thing about the larva is whenever you're picking that bad boy up, it summons Tom, Dick, and Harry all over the place. So that is one thing that I'm going to do for another video. I'm probably going to be the, I guess, what's the tough one? Probably the one with the flags. That'll probably be the one I do with the larva. But let's just talk about even just Helldivers right now. Because even just logging on today, like first time I've logged on in a minute, there was like 55, 60,000 people on the main planet for Defend. And that is a ton. I mean, that's more than I've seen like even the last time I got on. But mostly I think also because content is up. But I'm really excited to see what they are going to do for the next war bond, because I know, thank God, they are just going to take their time on it. And I know Switzerland has been on a bunch of vacations, or what they call holidays, lately. So I know they have to be cooking something that is pretty well, not to mention, you know, the change in positions from, what's his name, the CEO. Now he's down into like the content department, so it is pretty good to have his, you know, eyes on it, especially, you know, how some things were ending up after the PlayStation scandal. But Pilstedt, that's his name, so seeing him a little bit more hands-on with it's pretty nice. And it's just really, I mean, I can say one thing about this game. It was $40, and it's the best $40 I have ever spent on a video game. Like, I shit you not, I don't even recall putting this much time into Call of Duty whenever Call of Duty was gold back in, you know, BO3, because I mean, I always played zombies, and you know, I can really just think about the amount of hours I've put into this game. It is kind of getting up there with, you know, the $70, $60 games I've played in the past. So if you can get a fraction of the hours on, you know, I've played on this game, it's well worth it. Because as far as checking my Steam last, I think it was like 320 hours until I kind of got burnt out, and there really was a little bit less of a content stream. So to me, I mean, you don't have to play what everyone else is playing, but to me this game is always good to come back and play, especially when you haven't played it in a while. And I know like some people I used to play with on this, they really kind of moved on to other video games, which, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great games out there right now. I mean, but you know, this is one that will always hold a special place in my heart. And even if people say it's dying or it's dead, it will always be a game that I will come back and play, because you know, it's very, you know, masculine. It's got a bunch of explosions. It doesn't have any of the, you know, I'd really say it, but it doesn't really have any of the political agenda behind it. It's just solid run, gun, kill, you know, military, which is great. You know, like, you don't see many games like that nowadays. So that's one thing I will always appreciate about this. I do notice that, oh, yep, here they come. It's probably about to whack me across the map. The Impalers, let's see. Okay, well, the Impaler didn't get me. It was actually the Bile Titan. Kind of shocked. I will have to make like a compilation of being smacked across the map, because sometimes with the Impalers, like, it'll literally go straight through me, but I will get stuck on the actual like arm, and it will just wave me around. Jesus Christ. Now that I actually call bullshit. There is no shot that actually got me. But now that I think about it though, it's not really the acid in the Bile Titans that kill you. I think it's actually supposed to be the explosion. Jesus Christ, if I can get around here. Yeah, like, Jesus. Yeah, if we can just get around all of this. But that's one thing I have noticed, because like even before, I was like, well, maybe it's just the acid. It's just so strong. It gives off a really, you know, bad, what's the word? Gas, or a bad just what's the, I can't think of it right now. But if it just gives off a really bad, I can't think, odor, but a toxic odor. I thought that was what damages you, but I'm starting to think it's more of the explosion, kind of like how the Eruptor used to be. Jesus Christ. Let's just run around this way. Stem up. I can hardly see. Oh, well, that's another interesting thing. And if there's another cool thing about this, as far as I would say like bugs go, is the charger, but it's the spore one. So it is really cool, you know, really to see like a bunch of fog coming around. It's really hard to see. It's a new variation of bug. But I do kind of have to say, well, not really knocking it, but if there could be something maybe a little bit more different, like you have the Impaler one that just comes out of the ground, but you know, just kind of like sticking a charger up there, just making it a little bit more foggy. Yeah, it is a little bit of difficulty on the game, but I was thinking maybe like something that flies and shoots acid at you, kind of like a mixture of like two different types of bugs. I mean, yeah, you could kind of say like a charger that, you know, is a bunch of, whoop, right there. That, and I'm in the tree. All right, well, that's one refreshing thing. All right, let's knock that that bile out. But, what was I gonna say? I lost track. I'm trying to play and then talk and commentate at the same time. Let's see. But yeah, just talking about the variations of bugs, like if you have one that just flies around and just shoots acid out, I think it'd be a pretty cool variation rather than just like 4 or 5 different chargers. So you have like a regular one, then you have the armored one, then you have the one that's like the Impaler, then you have the Spore charger. So, I mean, yeah, it would just, don't get me wrong, it's a different type of bug. It adds some more variation to the game, but if we could just have something else that's like different. Now I know sometime possibly in the future they will introduce a new like species like the Illuminate. Not really sure if that's going to come anytime soon though, because that's a whole nother faction, which is a whole nother area of testing and bugging. But I think right now they're just trying to maintain the player base that they have, which I would think by taking more time to release content that's actually pretty good, I think it's the way to go, because the genuine players will always come back. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're not going to keep a ton of players all the time, because that's just how games go. You're gonna have new releases all the time. Like, there's just so much other things out there to play. But let's run around to this side. We're actually getting pretty close. Let's see. Let's run around, trying to get a real good figure as to where these bad boys are. Oh my god, here's another Impaler. This is about to whack me. Yeah, this is about to be... Oh my... Well, we are in a blender. Oh my god. Okay, it is fair to say we are in a blender on 10. I really am curious. Let's just go ahead and land down here since the chopper's coming. Alright, let's... Oh. Oh shit. Yeah. There's no shot. Well, we did it solo. First time doing Super Helldive. I mean, overall, like, getting to Super Helldive was a bitch. I do have to say, that was freaking ridiculous tough to do, because when you join lobbies or you try to do it solo, whew, it's insane. So I do, again, like I say, this is pretty interesting. It's still doable using the same strategy as far as it goes. So, I mean, if you want to give it a go, give this a whirl. But next video, we're going to try to do the larva when it comes to extracting on a longer mission. So thank you all for watching. It feels good to be back, and I'll catch you all in the next one.